Hi there, I'm Gary, welcome to my channel, welcome back if you've been here before. Today is box opening day on the kit of the week, and this week the kit is the FM-2 Wildcat in 1/72 scale from Arma Hobby. I'll have a look at the history of this kit, I'll have a look at the competition there is for it in the marketplace, and also what you get in the box for your money. All of these bits come as chapters, so you can flip backwards and forwards as your heart desires. Now, if you're thinking of getting one of these kits, this is probably the video for you. If you've already got one and want to know how to put it together, there's a companion making video that will be on this channel very, very soon. And of course, also on this channel will be the combo video with the box opening, the build, and bonus historical material. Now, if you like the show, and I hope you do, please do remember to say so by clicking the like button down there. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It's just that small button there in the bottom right corner. It helps me enormously, doesn't cost you a penny. If you do want to make a more concrete contribution, you can do that through Super Thanks, or you can do it through Patreon, through Buy Me a Coffee, or of course by visiting the Gary's Stuff merchandise store. All of those are linked in the information box below. So let's get on there and have a look at the FM-2 Wildcat kit in 1/72 from Arma Hobby. This box of the Arma Hobby Wildcat was a new tool as recently as 2020, as an expert set with pre-cut canopy masks and some photo etch details. As Arma Hobby tends to do, it followed up that release with many more, firstly with new decals as in this Wildcat Mark 6 of the Fleet Air Arm, this late Pacific Theatre set, and this set of training aircraft, the latter in 2021. Also in 2021 came the F4 Wildcat with new parts and new decals, with another set in 2022. There's even a double set of an FM1 and an FM2 Wildcat, which comes with two sections of carrier flight deck for display. In 1/72 scale there is plenty of competition available. Airfix made their new tool of the F4 in 2015, which includes a folded wing option. It's been released in dogfight doubles, first with the Nakajima Kate in 2015, then with the Mitsubishi Zero in 2020, and there is a new set of decals in this 2022 solo re-release. The previous Airfix offering was a new tool in 1964. AZ made a new tool of the Martlet 1 in 2010 with boxings in 2021 for the Martlet and the G36, essentially the original Wildcat. This tooling also made its way to market under the Admiral brand with added resin parts as the F4F3 and the F4F3P, both in 2012. Hobby Boss has released the Wildcat in their Easy Build range, with the wing and lower fuselage as one piece, mating to a single piece upper fuselage and fin, available in 3 versions. And if you look around, you can find plenty of others, notably one of the many boxings of the Hasegawa kit that derives from a 1994 tooling, and the Revel offering, which dates all the way back to 1961. So here we have the box, all very neat and tidy, very nice piece of box art at the front, and it opens at one end to reveal a cellophane bag with everything in it, all nicely packaged up. Inside we have transparencies, we have the photo etch and the paint masks, we have 2 sprues of grey plastic, and we have the instruction leaflet, and in the middle of that is the decal sheet for the 6 decal options. We'll have a look at all of this stuff in a bit more detail. The smaller of the 2 sprues is sprue A. This has the cockpit structure and the tailplane and elevators, wheels, fuel tanks, and so on. Oh, and the very spindly undercarriage. That's been a major problem on other kits. We'll see later how well they've dealt with it here. Which means Sprue B has pretty much everything else. Fuselage, wings, engine, propeller, rudder, and the rockets. There's 6 rockets you can fit to this aircraft. The transparencies are on this last sprue, I guess Sprue C, really. All the transparencies look really well moulded and very clean, very crisp. There's lots and lots of panes of glass on this. Fortunately, we have a pre-cut mask in this set. There's 2 little windows that go down in the bottom sort of forward quarter, I guess you'd call it. And I imagine this is a light cover as well. Then we have this very teeny tiny piece of photo etch. How small? Well, let's have a look. There's my pencil, you can see. So, instrument panel here. These are wiring looms for the engines, pulleys for the undercarriage system, and belts for the pilots. All very small, but very, very highly detailed. There's also this very helpful sheet of pre-cut parts for the masking. I hope you can see some of the cuts there. So on the left hand side we have all the cockpit canopy masks, and then on the right are the masks for the wheels. The instruction leaflet, of course, comes first of all with all the bits and pieces. My apology, the clear parts are frame T. I thought it'd be C. Call outs for the colours with various options. Hataka, AK, Lifeguard Ammo, Humbrol, Vallejo, Tamiya. Of course, I normally use Vallejo, so it's really helpful to know all of those. The masks and where they go, very good indeed. Arma Hobby instructions are very, very, very good, I find. Very clear, very concise. This is the bit I'm not looking forward to very much, which is the undercarriage. As you can see, it's quite a complicated beast, but we'll worry about that another day. There's not an awful lot to do, apart from the undercarriage. There really isn't an awful lot to do. The cockpit's fairly straightforward, and there's some weaponry underneath. Oddly, on this first page of stencils and colourings, there's no text, which is a bit odd because that's not very helpful if you're trying to put those tiny stencils in. I guess you can maybe look at these. I think you see S15 here in black. I think that's also an S15 in white. So you just swap them over if you're doing the stencils. 6 marking schemes altogether, 5 for the United States and 1 for the Fleet Air Arm. I haven't yet decided which I'm going to make. And here's the stencil sheet. These are all printed by TechMod, so very, very nice indeed. In fact, yes, you can see here the stencil 4, for example, in black is also stencil 4 in white. So even though they don't actually call out which is which, you can just cross-reference it to a black stencil and your white stencil will be in the same place. Other things, there's a bit of slipping here, a bit of sliding of the colour, which is not very good. These are probably not dried terribly well in the process, but otherwise, you know, the colours are absolutely lovely. The printing here is very crisp indeed. The instrument panel and all that is very nice. These colours are very good. Registration's excellent. So they're lovely, lovely decals, apart from this tiny little problem here. And here you can see I've really, really, really pushed up the zoom on this just to try and get a look at how clean the stencils are. There's the end of my pencil, so you can see these are very, very crisp prints for a very, very, very small stencils. Then if we look at the plastic itself, it's actually pretty good. There's really just the tiniest amount of flash on some parts, but really nothing to be too upset about. The panel lines are, well, they're shallower than Airfix, but deeper than other companies, so we might well be able to get some really nice weathering and panel lines out of these without too much trouble. The problem here is going to be the join, the fuselage join here. There's a lot of panel lines that cross over the fuselage join, top and bottom, so we may have to be really careful about how we do that. Otherwise, it all looks pretty clean and pretty nice. I mean, I didn't have any problems with the Hurricanes I've made from Arma Hobby in 1/72, so I'm hoping I won't have any problems with this either. Again, on the other sprue, really nothing to write home about in terms of, there's a bit of flash here on these undercarriage legs, or struts for the undercarriage, but the rest of the gear is very clean. So just a bit of a problem with the mould there, I suspect. The instrument panel is quite nicely moulded. Now I'm going to be using the one supplied in the photo etch, so I'll be taking down all of the detail there. But if you wanted to do it yourself and do some dry brushing, there's enough relief, I suspect, to just about be able to pick out those bezels without too much issue. The rest of the structure all looks very nice, all very clean. The plastic looks a little shiny, but very smooth, which is probably why it looks shiny. And it feels like a harder plastic. I don't know if you get the same thing. Sometimes you pick up plastic and you think, oh, this is a bit soft, and sometimes you think like Bandai plastic is hard as nails. It's incredibly hard, very crisp. Maybe it's more difficult to mould, I don't know. I'm sure someone would better tell me. But generally speaking, this feels like quite hard plastic, so I suspect it will therefore take a lot more of this moulding detail than the average plastic will. But we will see as we go along. So there it is then, the Wildcat from Arma Hobby. It's quite a promising looking kit. I've made 3 of their Hurricanes so far. They've all been a joy to build. I'm hoping this one is too. Now, if you've enjoyed the show, please do remember to say so by clicking the thanks button. And also, if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to the channel. You do that by clicking the small logo down there in the bottom right corner. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me enormously. In any case, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.